Hey everybody, my name is Zach Hartley and I'm one of the founders of Burgundy Oak. And today we are going to show you how to install our wine barrel stave wall. We're going to be installing it on our entrance wall right behind me here. And I'm going to show you exactly what you need to get started and how to install it on any wall that you have at home, in your restaurant, your hotel, or any application you can think of. So before we get going on the actual installation, let me explain to you what's about to happen. The tools that you're going to need are black paint. You'll need the staves that you purchased from us. You'll also need 1 1/2 inch nails as well as a nail gun. The last supply that you're gonna need is some plywood. Now how it works is we're gonna install a sheet of 3/4 inch plywood on the wall behind us. We're gonna paint it black and then we're gonna use the nails to secure the staves against the wall. It's gonna be a pretty short video, but we're gonna show you exactly how it's done from start to finish. So the first step is we gotta go get our staves. Then we got to measure our wall behind us. We're going to cut the plywood, paint the plywood, install it on the wall, and then we're going to begin putting our staves on it, and we're going to show you how to finish off the trim as well. So stay tuned. I'm going to go grab our staves right now, and I'll show you what they look like. Okay, so we've got our box of staves here. Now, depending on how many you order, the size of the box can change a little bit, but I'll show you what it looks like. So open it up. And then on the inside here, you can see we've got all of our staves basically lined up and ready to go. If you pull them out, you can see we've got that beautiful red marking from the wine. These markings here are actually from the metal bands that wrap around the barrel and hold it together. And then we cut each side at a 5-degree angle so that they line up perfectly. And we fit about 16 staves in each box. So we've got about 4 to 5 square feet in each one. We'll send you the exact dimensions with your order. But this is what they look like, and then this is what they get installed on the wall. And as you can see, each one is a little bit different. Each one has a unique feel, and so when they get lined up on the wall, they're all set and ready to go. So we've got our staves now. Now it's time to take some measurements here. We're gonna measure the exact dimensions of our wall. We're gonna go cut our plywood, paint the plywood, and then start installing it on the wall. So stay tuned, time for the next step. Okay, so we've got our plywood here, and the reason that we use plywood in behind the staves is it gives us a strong, sturdy backing to secure the wood to. Now, we can cut the plywood to any dimension, so for these ones, we've cut it to the exact dimensions of the wall. We're gonna install it onto the wall, and we're gonna use this black paint to basically blend it in with the background behind the staves. Those shadows, this black paint, you won't be able to see anything, and it'll keep the focus on the staves in the front. And that's what we really wanna do here. So next step, we're gonna open up our black paint. We're just using regular CIL premium black paint. And we're gonna pour it into our tray here, lay it down with a roller. We're gonna let it sit for about 20 or 30 minutes, and then we are going to install the plywood onto the wall and then get started with the staves. So stay tuned. We're moving pretty quick here and it doesn't take long. All right guys, we're back in the showroom. We have got our big, large black piece painted. We've got our smaller little piece painted to kind of finish off the edges. And now it's time to install them on the wall. So depending on what type of wall you have, you're gonna have to kind of adapt this for yourself. We have a drywall wall with brick in behind it. So what we're gonna be doing is installing drywall anchors into the wall and then fastening through the plywood into those anchors. Do whatever works best for you, and if you have any questions, either contact us or ask an expert. All right, everybody, we are all set and ready to go. We've got our black painted plywood up and secured against the wall, so that's gonna give us our nice, strong, and secure base for us to install our staves. Now, you've already seen what the staves look like when they come to you. Now, they come in about 22-inch long sections. We're gonna install them on the wall in basically a brick format. So we're gonna lay each one about 50% on top of the next one, almost like a shingle pattern all the way up. We found it's best to start in one corner and then work your way up, so that's how we're gonna start it today. But really, you can do any pattern you want. When you get the staves, you can lay them out in various different patterns. For us today, we're gonna do it in that standard brick layout. So follow along, I'm gonna show you what it looks like as we start to lay down our first couple tiles on the bottom. We're gonna work our way up, and it should be a couple hours, and then we'll be all set to go and put the border on and then finish it off. So stay tuned, we're gonna start installing right now. Okay, so one little secret that we've kind of learned through installing a couple of these walls is when you're installing them, it can be difficult to keep them level, especially on the larger walls. So what we've done is we've taken a chalk line we put a chalk line every single foot all the way from left to right side so that we can see as we're installing a stave here, here, and here, we can see as we go across to make sure that we're level, so that at the end of this, when you look at your wall, it's not going like this all the way across. You can look at every single stave you put on and make sure that one side to the next is level with this line as you put it in. Okay guys, so for this installation, we're gonna be laying down the staves one over top of each other, and they're basically gonna overlap about halfway through. Now what that means is that for every second row, we're gonna need to start the row with a half piece, the piece that would sit right there. So what we're doing is we're taking 3 of the staves that we started with, and we're gonna cut them in half so that we're ready to go as soon as we get started. We'll be able to do our first 6 rows, we'll see how it looks, test it out from there, and make sure that everything's going smoothly before we finish off the wall. Okay, so we've got our wall here. This is how it's gonna go, and we're gonna start in the bottom right-hand corner here. So first piece is gonna go all the way flush to the right. We're gonna build the first row out, and then we're gonna put the half piece right on top of that. We're gonna build the second row out, third row, the fourth row, and we're gonna see how it looks. Always keeping in mind that this is the line that we wanna be level with. So no matter what happens, you'll notice that on these staves, one end to the other isn't gonna be exactly level. So as you go across, you need to slowly adjust these to make sure that you're level with the chalk lines you installed previously, and that's what's gonna give you the clean, even look as you look across them again. So, here we go. First piece, flush against the wall, flush against the bottom there, line it up. You can hold it in with one hand like that. You take your nail gun, 1, 2, 1, 2. Just like that, you're all set and ready to go. That's not going anywhere. Now remember, we're using 1.5" nails, and on these ones we're using 18 gauge. So we got our first stave in there. I'm gonna move to the next one, and we're gonna keep it going. Okay, so now we've got our first row already laid down. Now it's time to go back to those half pieces that we started with. So what these are gonna allow us to do is basically bring out the edge of this wall halfway here, so that when we start our next stave, we're laid out and we're ready to go. So that's what's gonna give us that overlapping effect, and we're gonna start every second row with one of these half pieces. We're also gonna finish every second row with one of those half pieces, and we're gonna work our way all the way up the wall. So pretty exciting. I'll show you what it's like to install one of these. It's really simple. It even lays a little bit even more flush against the wall. So you're gonna take it here, maybe lift up this inside edge just a little bit. Again, 2 nails. Now you want to put the nails about 3/4 to 1 inch in from the stave. It's got to be close enough to the edge that it goes through, because there is a gap in the middle, but you don't want it on the end of the stave because it'll split the wood. So 1.5" nails, about 1 inch in from the edge of each stave. And you need 2, you could do 3 if you wanted. All right, so that's lined up. We're gonna take this here. Grab our next piece. And now you want to kind of line it up flush with this, but always still trying to make sure that you're level. Okay, so now we are at the end here. You can tell we've got a small section or chunk right here that we need to finish off. So we're gonna take again one of our half staves, and we're gonna line it up right here. And this is what is gonna finish off this row for us. So we'll close it out, boom, and you're all set. So right there, we've got our first 2 rows that are down, they're nailed in, they're all set and they're ready to go. You can give them a little tug test, they're not going anywhere. Now you don't want a kid to climb on here, but they are gonna be pretty sturdy against this plywood, and that's where this comes in. You've gotta make sure that this is properly secured to the wall. You also wanna make sure that it's thick enough so that when your nail goes into here, it has enough basically grip to hold that stave against this wall. So far our first 2 rows are looking pretty good. I'm happy with how those are going. We're still level against our chalk line, so now it's just time to start working our way up. All right guys, we are completely finished installing the staves. As you can see, we layered them one and then the other halfway over. We did it all the way up the wall and it has given us this immaculate look. We've got the black paint on the plywood underneath, so you can't see any of the plywood, you can't see any of the screws, and you can't even see the chalk lines. And we've got the beautiful oil staves in the front here. So far this turned out really good. We went all the way up, and the last thing you have to do is add a trim around the edge. Now you can use anything you want. We here are choosing to use a 1 inch by 1/2 inch fir batten. We're gonna go all the way along the edge with a black paint, and we're gonna finish this project off. But as of right now, we're completely done with the stave installs. It's time to clean up, finish our trim, and then we are done. We installed this entire wall in under an hour and a half. We did the plywood a little bit beforehand, but the actual installation of the staves, we did the entire thing in under an hour and a half. So it's easy to do at home. Your contractor can do it, you can do it. And if you have any questions, we are here to support. Write us an email, give us a call, or come into the showroom and check this one out in person. Talk to you soon.